Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my haul update for the items that I purchased during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Enough time has passed now that I have been able to test the majority of these products and be able to now give you my feedback. The first item that I purchased was the BH Cosmetics Royal Affair palette, and I love this palette. At the point that I filmed the video, I had already been testing it for a good week or so, and at that point was really enjoying it, and I've got to say I'm still loving this palette. I do reach for it on a regular basis. I love the array of shades that it's got in it, and my favourite shade in here is probably this pink shade up here. Just the perfect shade of pink in that it does not look like there's something wrong with your eye, which I've tried a few pinks that have caused that to happen, but this one definitely doesn't. And I really like this blue shade over here, which it looks kind of white slash silver in the pan, but it goes on like a duochrome ice blue, and it's a really nice shade. And also this orange has surprised me. I didn't think I'd be a big fan of an orange shade, but it is really nice. And they blend beautifully. The shimmers go on really well. I use my fingers to apply them, but the couple of times I have used a brush, I haven't had to use a wet brush, and I've still got quite a decent amount of colour payoff. They do last a good amount of time provided you wear a primer, but by the end of the day even the shimmers have tended to stand the test of time, which I have a few palettes, even high-end ones, where the shimmers will kind of still break up slightly by the end of the day. So would definitely recommend picking this palette up if you've not, and I love that it is unique to my collection, so yeah, this one's definitely been a hit. The next thing I picked up is the Makeup Revolution Renaissance Flick eyeliner. I've only tried this a couple of times. I didn't really want to open it, to be honest, until I'd finished my eyeliner that I had on the go, but it seems to be lasting forever and I did want to try it, so I have worn this a couple of times. When I swatched it on the back of my hand, it felt like it was a really wet formula, and I was a bit worried that it would be too wet and I wouldn't be able to control it, but it is definitely one that is easy to control. It felt like quite a sharp line that it created, and it definitely does create a sharp of a line on your eyes with a great amount of ease. I would say that I don't love it as much as I love the Tarte Man-Eater eyeliner, also the NYX Epic Ink eyeliner. They are my two favourites, but I think out of all the ones I tried, this is definitely coming in third place. The only thing I don't like about it is that the line I seem to achieve is much thicker, and I don't seem to be able to get quite as close to the lash line as I like, but overall for the price it is a great eyeliner. Then I picked up some things from the brand Colourpop. This one is one of their Luxe lipsticks, and this is in the shade Still Crazy. This is a gorgeous dark pink shade, which I will show you there. I absolutely love the formula of these lipsticks. They go on so smoothly, they are highly pigmented, and I would say they are the longest lasting cream lipsticks that I've ever tried. That's why I tend to prefer matte lipsticks, because I do prefer a lipstick to be longer lasting, but these are a cream formula, so they are in no way drying, but the colour tends to stick to your lips, especially with this one because it is like a really nice shade of pink. It just fades naturally and it doesn't look too obvious that your lipstick's worn off, so by the time I come home from a full work day I still have remnants of kind of a slight pink flush to my lips. And I say for a bullet lipstick that is quite hard to come by in my opinion, so I would definitely recommend these. For $7 they are great, and I think I will probably be ordering a couple more. The other lip product that I got from Colourpop was one of their Lippie sticks, and this is in the shade Bound. I've tried a couple of their Lippie sticks before and did really like them. I just wanted to try the cream formula because the ones I purchased was the Matte X formula, I think, and this one isn't bad, but I think the shade just isn't for me. It's too light of a shade. You can see it in comparison to that other one. It's too much of a baby pink, and I think from looking at the lip swatches that they put on the website, it didn't look that light in my opinion. I don't know if it's just against my natural lip colour, but it is a bit too baby pink, and considering it's supposed to be a cream formula, it does drag ever so slightly on the lips. I think because obviously I am comparing it to this cream formula, I don't feel like in comparison to the matte formula of these it's much more creamy, because they do drag quite a lot, whereas this does drag. So I'm a bit disappointed with this one, to be honest. One, because the colour shade isn't right for me and the formula wasn't as creamy as I thought it would be, but I suppose if they hadn't have released these, I might have been happy with the formula of this. But I think from now on I'm just going to purchase the Luxe lipsticks and not get any more of their Lippie sticks if I do order again from them. The final product that I ordered from Colourpop is their Ooh La La eyeshadow palette, and this is one of their pressed powder palettes, which I do have another one, which is the You Had Me at Hello. I think that's pressed powder as well, and I absolutely love the formula of those eyeshadows, so I had high hopes for this palette, but I was slightly disappointed. It does have a nice array of shades in here, but when it arrived it was a little bit bashed, and a few of the pans, when you swirl your finger around the pans, do spin. That's fine, I can still make use of it, it's not a problem, but I was disappointed by the pigment of the shades. When you apply either one of these shades here, Softcore and Poodle, they kind of look the same and they do require quite a lot of building up. I applied the shade Poodle underneath this eye look that I have on today. I was actually intending to wear this palette for my eye look today. In the end, I've used the Huda Beauty Amethyst palette, which we'll come to shortly. I just got a bit frustrated with the pigmentation payoff on this. I wanted a bit more. I also find this shade here, Trove, quite disappointing. It looked quite dark, but again, it requires quite a lot of building up, and I don't think I've got the patience for that really. This shade Moonstruck here is a really nice shade. That one does have great colour payoff and goes onto the lid nicely. The shade Tickled here is the one I was most excited to break into because it is a kind of duochrome looking. It's a creamy white shade with purple and pink sort of glitter flecks to it. Again, this is one that I was disappointed with because this is such a chunky shade. When you swirl your finger around in it, you have to blow the excess off your finger because there is so much that's on it, and I think I'm not really used to that with shimmer shades. I'm used to them being more smooth, and say this one is just so chunky. There is so much fallout from this one. I end up with glitter all over my face every time I use this shade. It also doesn't go down as I intend it to. When I use a shade like this, I like to just put it in the very inner corner, but this just tends to go everywhere and I end up with bits of it or bits of glitter just all over my lid. So I am quite disappointed with this one and the palette in general. I think I only paid $12 for it, so it's not a bit massive loss, but it does put me off a little bit in purchasing more of their eyeshadow palettes. I think if I did purchase another one, I'd probably steer clear of the 9 pans and stick to the, I think it's the 12 pans, which is what the You Have Me at Hello palette is, because I do love the formula of that one. Next thing I picked up is this Loreal Pure Clay Detox Mask, and I've used this I think 3 times now since I purchased it, and it is a really nice mask. I did feel like it did some good to my skin. It's one of those masks that's slightly tingly when you apply it, so it does feel like it is pulling the rubbish out of your skin basically. I just have 2 issues with it. I'm not a massive fan of the scent. I know I did get a comment in my haul video where someone said they absolutely loved the scent of it. I'm not a massive fan. Can't put my finger on what it does actually smell like. I think the smell kind of reminds me of one of my husband's deodorants, so I think because I associate the smell with that, I don't like it on my face. It is not a horrible scent, I just don't think it's a scent for me. It is also a bit of a pain to get off. I do kind of prefer your peel off masks or your sheet masks just for the sheer ease of when you take them off, whereas this is one that you wash off, and I do find I do need to scrub my skin to get all remains of it off. I then don't feel as pampered as I did because my skin's a bit red raw from having to scrub to remove it. But overall, I feel like it does do good stuff to my skin, which is the main thing of the mask, I suppose, but I wouldn't repurchase once I've used this one up. I purchased this face mask spatula, and this is the one that I have been using with that L'Oreal mask, and I do really like it. I think I only paid a couple of pounds for this, and it is so much easier than using that brush that I had to apply masks, because I can clean this in 2 seconds flat, dry it and stick it back in the drawer, whereas with the brush it used to take forever to clean it to get all the products out, and then had to let it dry before I could put it away. So I'm definitely glad I picked this one up, and should this ever break or go disgusting, I would purchase another one. Then I had a couple of nail polishes. The first one is Barry M Coconut Infusions in the shade Oasis, and I haven't actually tried this one yet. I haven't had a chance to try this properly, so I will be trying this when I next change my nail varnish, because I am really excited to try it because it looks like a really nice shade. With regards to formula, I haven't tried the Coconut Infusions from Barry M, but I have tried a lot of Barry M nail polishes and I'm usually not disappointed. The next polish I got was from H&M, and this one is in the shade Imaginarium. This is the first polish or beauty product that I've ever tried from H&M, and I've got to say I'm not going to be rushing out and purchasing any more shades of this. I felt like it didn't apply the easiest. If you were kind of going over a bit you'd applied, it would rub it off and I'd end up with a thick coating on the edge of my nail of where the nail varnish had rubbed away, and I can usually do a good coat or two without that happening, but I had to let it dry a lot between each coat. Normally I'll do one coat and then by the time I get to the end of my other hand I can go straight back to the first hand and go over it. I've never had an issue before, but with this, if I didn't leave it a good couple of minutes between coats, it would just pull it off with the brush as soon as I'd start applying it. It also didn't last the longest. It did chip, I think, one of my nails within 24 hours, and I wasn't doing excessive hard labour with it. Yes, I type for a living, but obviously a lot of my nail varnishes have to go through that, and I've never known one to chip so quickly. It didn't cost a lot, so it's not too bad, but I am very disappointed with this and probably won't purchase another H&M nail varnish. The next thing is this Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink, and this is a formula that I love, and I think I have now 4 or 5 shades in this. This is the darkest shade that I do own, and I was a bit wary about putting it on because it is quite dark for me. I think I had it on the intro to my backup video, and I was a bit self-conscious wearing it then, but I did go on to wear it on Christmas Day and I did get compliments on it, so it is a really nice colour. It is just literally, I think, for special occasions. I don't know when I'll next pull it out now that Christmas is over, but I will try and reach it a bit more in the colder months. This formula is really long lasting. All my other shades last a long time, but they are in nude shades. This did start to fade in the very inner rim of my lips, which you would expect for a dark colour, but it didn't fade badly in that it was obvious. It's just obviously I knew I could see it fading, but I did expect that for it being a red colour. I would consider buying another dark shade from this range, but I think I'll just stick with this one for now. But definitely I love this formula in any other shade, it's just this one. It was more obvious than it faded, but say it's a red, so that's what you kind of expect. I then have the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette. I have such a hard time saying that and don't know why. And this was one, I think this was one of the last things that I picked up on Cyber Monday, and this is their purple palette. I did very nearly pick up the green one because I had my eye on the green one for so long, but changed my mind last minute and purchased the purple one, and I'm so glad that I did. So glad that I did, because I am constantly reaching for this palette. I think my palettes of the moment have been the Royal Affair palette and this palette. So when I was deciding which palettes to put in my everyday makeup drawer, it was kind of a no-brainer that these two would be involved. This is taking me out my comfort zone slightly in that I didn't really wear purple eyeshadows before because they can be quite hard to pull off, but I can still kind of get a subtle look with this. Shades are buildable. I did worry that they would be too pigmented and that it would be quite a lot of work to blend out, but they are not. If you go in with a light hand, you can get just like a quite nice wash of colour, and I can sometimes just literally pull in and take this shadow and build it in with another palette. I've actually had to use this a few times to rescue me from mistakes that I've made with the Ooh La La palette, so this has definitely been a godsend. I would consider purchasing another one. I just can't decide which colour I want. But as well, the fact I'm trying to not buy any eyeshadow palettes, but if I was buying, I would have run out and purchased another one because I do love the formula of these, plus they are so compact and will be ideal for travelling. So I think when I go away in the summer, I will be taking this one with me. We then have a few purchases from Tarte, and this time I just purchased 2 of their holiday sets. I've just realised now I've not written down the names of these sets. Just ran to get the boxes because I couldn't remember the names of the sets. So the first one is the Best Kind of Nude set, and that came with this full-size exposed Amazonian clay blush, full-size exposed Lippie lingerie. This set I think was around £17 before the discount, and for that price it is definitely a great value set. These full-size blushes usually retail for about £25, and based on how long it takes me to get through one of the mini ones, this is going to last forever. I have one open in the shade Exposed at the moment, so I haven't yet cracked into this, but I do know that I love the formula, and I also love this shade. It's the blush I probably wear most days. Then we have this Lippie lingerie, and that is the shade there. It does actually apply a bit lighter on my lips, so it's not one that I'm going to be reaching for at this time of the year, but I think come summer this is probably going to be one that I'm going to reach for a lot because I really like the formula of these. It says that they are a matte tint, but they feel much more comfortable than a matte lip. So you still feel like your lips are quite moisturised, and they do last a good while as well, which is great. So I think if these did crop up in another set, I probably would purchase another shades of them because I do really like them. And say think come summer, once I start breaking, or even spring, breaking into the lighter shades, I'll probably wear this one quite a lot. The next set I purchased was this Partners in Crime set, and this came with a mini blush in the shade Insightful, a mini Lippie lingerie in the shade Envy, and then a mini maracuja oil. I haven't started this maracuja oil yet because I still am working my way through one. I don't know whether to maybe see if my friend wants this one because I'm not reaching for it a lot really. I'm a bit hit and miss with facial oils. I don't tend to reach for them an awful lot, but I do feel like they moisturise my skin, so I probably should. I think it's because I was spoiled with a really expensive sample that I got from a subscription service that no other facial oil seems as good as it, but I definitely wouldn't be purchasing the full size one. I think it was like £100 odd. Also, the scent of this kind of puts me off it slightly. It smells quite herby. The scent doesn't stick around once it's soaked into your skin, but the initial application, I don't really like the scent of it, so I think that's probably another thing that puts me off using it. But I will definitely finish the one that I've got, and then I'll decide whether to crack this one open or pass it on to a friend. With regards to the Lippie lingerie, as I've just said with this one, I really love the formula. When I seen how dark the packaging was on this one, I was slightly intimidated because I did think it would be too dark of a shade. Here is swatched at the top, but it's actually not. It's like a really pretty warm, your lips but better pink shade. It does fade down nicely. So subtle that sometimes I don't notice that it's faded down because it still looks like there's a little something on my lips by the end of the day. Definitely love these, the formula of these. And then we have the blush, which is in the shade Insightful. It's a really nice neutral pink. I haven't broken into this one yet because I have about 3 more of these on the go, and I want to try and finish one of them. I know that's a mean feat. One of them I'm not far off hitting pan, and I think once I hit pan I'll obviously get through it a bit quicker then. But majority of my blush collection consists of Tarte Amazonian clay blushes, so it's definitely a hit in my books. But both of these sets were really good value, as most holiday sets are from Tarte. I'm so glad I restrained myself and didn't pick up more of them this year, but I'm not gonna lie, I was very tempted because they are always great value. That's it for a quick run through of the products that I've tried and tested. So that is it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks.